Hey, hello. Okay, so there's recently been a change to CRAVEN where they have nerfed it. So what they did is that they reduced the cooldown reduction from 15 to 5 seconds, which means that now you'll have a 25-second CD on your Feign Death with CRAVEN, which basically means that you'll only really play CRAVEN in matchups where you care about the removal effect, which isn't really every single matchup. So I'll quickly just talk about the matchups where you need it. So Unholy DK, I would say CRAVEN is still really gonna be, it's gonna be really good. Being able to remove a lot of their diseases and stuff can be pretty helpful. Plus the slows and things in general. Feral, of course, being able to remove a lot of their bleeds. Windwalker can be pretty good sometimes, maybe, to remove Bone Dust Brew. But I feel like in general, Windwalker was a class that you mainly picked it for the feign, like for the cooldown reduction. Just being able to feign death off the, Fist of Fury and stuff like that with a survival tactics shield. So I don't know if I'll go into Windwalker, maybe, we'll see. Into survival is pretty decent, because you can feign death a lot of their bomb effects. It doesn't really matter which bomb effect you do, it can be blue bomb, red bomb, green bomb, or just regular bomb. Just the damage component of that is pretty good. And then as a rogue as well, being able to remove their bleeds and poisons, pretty sick. And then for casters, Shadow and Affliction are basically only going to be the matchup where you play CRAVEN. You could also play it into Elemental Shamans, so you don't have to worry about the like knock-up effect whenever you feign death. And then the other matchups, it's not really 100% necessary, because a lot of these matchups you basically only really played CRAVEN with tactics to get the shield up a bit faster. But nowadays I wouldn't really recommend that. So the matchups where CRAVEN is good, you'll still play it. It's not like it's bad, you just won't play it in every matchup. So before I mention anything about Call of the Wild, I had to delete the old video because I showcased a Unity bug that I was not aware of. But basically, if you have Unity on one piece, for example, I have it now. I had it on my ring, and then with Call of the Wild, I used to have it on my necklace. This causes the Unity to not work. So allow me to demonstrate. Man, look, there is no... I have Unity, but there's no bleed from my blade shot. What the fuck? So this happens if you have Unity in one piece and then swap it, like in the equipment manager. So a way to go around this is to unequip your Unity and then equip it again. And now you have the bleed. But this is too time consuming, it's way too annoying. So you know what I would recommend? I would put your necklace Unity in the bank. Forget about it. And then you only have one Unity. Here we go. Now you don't have to worry about anything. This is the wrong Unity. There we go. So yeah. Now it's no longer going to be bugged. You just have one Unity on the ring and you keep that forever. My bad, I'm so sorry, Unity. He's feeling a bit cranky. Let me put him back. Where's Unity? Here he is. Okay. So you have one Unity. You never change this. You see here, Unity is here. Unity, it's the same one, okay? Otherwise it's gonna bug out. I don't want you guys to deal with bugs, okay? So just have one Unity, and then that will fix all of your problems. As you see now, I've changed all of my talents, or like, I changed the rows like 50,000 times. Let's see, does Unity work? Testing. Hello? Can I get a blade shot? Please? Thank you. Oh, it works. Cool. So that's very important to know. So speaking of Call of the Wild, you could put this on the wrist as well if you want to, but then again, I just prefer having it on the ring. I think it's between... So if you have it on the wrist, you get 4 agility, and if you do it on the ring, you get 9 more secondary stat. So I guess that's kind of up to you. Do you rather want to have 4 agility or 9 secondary stat? I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Maybe the wrist is like a 0.001% better, but I don't really care. I'll just have it on the ring. So what Call of the Wild does actually is that it makes your coordinated assault a 1 minute 18 second cooldown, your eagle a 1 minute CD, Shira 2 minutes, turtle 2 minutes. Pretty good. I think this is gonna be the most consistent Lego that I will use outside of Craven. The main reason why is because having turtle actually be a 2 minute CD just means that you can line it up with a lot of the other offensive cooldowns that are out there. Stuff like Necro Banner, you know, the enemy's PvP trinkets if they want to like trinket to like play aggressive. Wings is also 2 minutes. You know, what else do we have? A-bomb limb is 2 minutes. Basically, there's like a lot of offensive cooldowns that are like tied to like the 2 minute window. So now being able to just turtle on rotation with Call of the Wild is actually extremely strong. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this, but it actually is really, really strong to be able to do this. And then also something that I found out is like having Intim and Eagle be the same CD feels really nice whenever you want to do your opener. So as an example, right, you can maybe do like a pet stun into like an Eagle, you know, to do like a lot of all of your globals like this, and you trap the healer off or whatever. And then next time, you can do the exact same thing, where you can just guarantee the fact that you're at ranged and still do damage whenever you want to press Intim. I think it's like a really nice thing. I didn't think that I would like it that much, but having these two synced up actually feels really nice in the actual arena itself. So yeah, Call of the Wild, the matchups that I'm thinking about it would be stuff like Ret Warrior, Turbo, maybe some casters. It kind of works into like almost every single comp, I would say. There's not really anything that it's really good into or really bad into. It's just a decent all-around legendary that is just, you know, it's pretty good. You might also, if you want to be a cheeky boy, you could maybe change like Stinging Strikes or Strength of the Pack to Deadly Tantrum, so you get 30-second cooldown on your Coordinated Assault, because it's going to be like a lower, you know, it's lower CD. But I don't think that's worth it, but you can, I mean, you can experiment with that as well. And then another thing that is really strong is the fact that you can actually go Hunting Pack and have a 1 minute cooldown on your Shira. Very fantastic. And then also, if you want to make it a bit lower, you could go this conduit, but I wouldn't really recommend it because it only really takes 10 seconds off, because, you know, the seconds gets applied first and then all the multiplications get sent over later, so yeah. But yeah, in general, Call of the Wild, solid Lego, nothing is really wrong with it. It's just pretty good overall. So I would recommend this in like most matchups where you don't play Craven. The other ones that we have though are gonna be Wildfire Cluster. So in this you want to have it on the legs. The one thing that is kind of bad about Cluster though is the fact that the actual bombs can miss, which is not really the best. So what I did actually, I played a couple of games of Cluster, and let me tell you, it did not actually feel that good at all. So what happened is that I was against a Ret Warrior, and in a 3-minute game against Ret Warrior, you know, I pressed a lot of bombs, maybe 10 or whatever, something, but probably more. But in a 3-minute game, on the kill target, which was the Warrior, the clusters only did 20k damage to the Warrior. You know, everything else was on the other person, or stuff like Kevin, or the healer. So it didn't feel that impactful. Like, I think I would way rather have Call of the Wild than 20k damage over the course of a 3-minute game. Note, I mean, that's like a very specific instance. You know, you could perhaps get a bit more or a bit less, but in general, the biggest issue that I have with Cluster is the fact that people can just move in a straight line and they won't really get hit by all three. Because if you see here, you know, the clusters are like, it's kind of random where they go. So on average, you're only really gonna land like 1 or 2 on the actual target you wanna do damage to. And it's especially worse if you cast your bomb at range like this. Because look at all the travel time. And then if someone is moving in a straight line, you know, you're just gonna miss. Like, let's pretend that I'm like walking. You see? Like in this case, if I was walking forward, I wasn't gonna get hit by anything here. So it sounds good in theory with the tier set, but in reality, it's pretty it's pretty lackluster. I don't know. I would probably recommend Call of the Wild over it. The other one that we have is though latent poison. So if you want to make latent poison, I would recommend it on the hands, and then you have to make another tier set on the legs to continue getting the 4 set. The issue that I have with latent poison though is that it feels really awkward to use. So compared to BFA, in BFA you were heavily incentivized to be melee range. So it didn't really matter, you know, proccing latent poison was super easy. But I feel like nowadays, from the games that I tested, you know, I maybe played like 10 games of latent poison and then 10 games of cluster. Latent poison, I can see how it can do a lot of damage, but oh man, does it feel awkward to use. I feel like also I play worse because I want to prioritize Serpent Sting over everything else, even though it might be better DPS wise to, you know, just press Flayed Shot and stuff and just do, you know, shit like this. And then once I'm inevitably in melee range, the way that I like to proc it is just doing like a flanking strikes into a Raptor Strike, kinda. And then just walking back out again. The one thing that is pretty nice about latent poison though is your ability to swap targets. Which, I mean, you know, pretty good. You can just like throw out a Serpent Sting on this guy, Serpent Sting on this guy, and then you can just wait. You can do a lot of your damage. And then if you ever get kited, you know, you can maybe go back, hit these guys, proc this, you know, maybe proc this one. I mean, it's not super amazing, but I feel like latent poison has more, like it has more potential when it comes to doing damage in the arena compared to cluster, but it's way more awkward to use. You have to actually make sure to be in melee range to proc latent poison, which can be kind of awkward. So I would say use it if you want to, but you can't really go wrong with Call of the Wild. I would say Call of the Wild is probably the most safest bet. But yeah, if you want, you can experiment with Cluster or Latent Poison. Both of these are fine options. But for the most part, I would recommend Call of the Wild as your legendary of choice in matchups where you don't necessarily need Craven. One thing also that I wouldn't recommend as a human, but if you are Orc and you are against a rogue, you can go sephuz. So sephuz stacks with the Orc racial, which means that you have a 30 percentage stun reduction. Yeah, a 30% stun reduction, which is actually really, really good. Plus, it kind of makes up for the fact that you don't really have Relle as an Orc either. So, you know, you'll set Polymorph and Fear a bit less as well. So, for Orc, sephuz, definitely pretty viable. I was thinking about maybe playing sephuz with a Trinket as, you know, on my human. This could be something. And also, if you want to have sephuz, the way that I would do it is, you know, go to your CRAVEN page and then change this CRAVEN to sephuz. If you want to make sephuz on human with Trinket. But I don't know. I feel like this is mainly just gonna be like an Orc thing. But for sure, sephuz into some rogue teams. Definitely be really good to do as an Orc. Yeah, so that's gonna be the legendaries that I would recommend. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a little bit of a shit video, but sometimes it just be like that. I just wanted to you know, to showcase the Unity bug, because that's why I have to delete the old video. So make sure you only have Unity on one piece, otherwise it will be bugged. Just so you guys know, make sure you have one Unity only. And if you need to swap Unity, you gotta make sure that you unequip and then equip it again, so the effect will work. Alright, cool. Peace out. Thank you for watching. And yeah, bye bye.